So, here I am in with so much different in my life because of this whole isolation thing. Yup, I am I am so much there's so much different going on with my life. I was getting ready for this huge party. I had to it was my job to invite all the hookers and get all the what is it they called? Blow? Yeah, all the blow. But all this and now I have to cancel it. It was like, oh man, that is rough. I don't know if I should have actually said that, but eh, who cares? Anyway, I'm just gonna move on because it doesn't matter. Who cares? Um, I kept forgetting to do this towards the end of all the videos. Well, most of the videos, like 90% of the videos. So I'm just gonna try to start doing it towards the beginning because that seems easier. If you have like stuff you want to say, like whether they are questions or like phrases of stuff that you want me to talk about, or insults, I don't really care. I have nothing going on in my life, and I know you don't either now, so you don't have an excuse. Anyway, whatever you want to say, you can either comment it or tweet it at me. Not that I check Twitter that much. Not that I check this page that much either because it's a separate page from what I actually use to watch YouTube. But, so what? Anyway, I'm gonna go to the questions now that I got from somebody. So, there's that. And number one, can you share with me when you were last employed? What was your financial performance? Oh, my last employment? I know exactly. I used to work at Sears in a mall that would, and it was like almost going in business too. So it wasn't even like the good Sears. It was, well, the not good Sears. I don't know. I don't know what you would say. Anyway, I hated it because I hated retail and customer service because I was on the sales floor, so it was awful. So eventually, I just stopped working. I didn't stop going in, mind you. I just stopped working, and eventually they found out and fired me because that's that's not cool. But then it went out of business like a month later, and we all knew it was going business like a month later. So I didn't care. And since I worked at Sears, I of course made minimum wage, which was completely useless at the time. So I also didn't feel like I cared. And yeah, that that is pretty much all that is. Question two: did you ever have to gather a lot of information from multiple resources? Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like doing like research and stuff. I suck at research. I'm gonna be honest because I'm lazy, but it's not like if I don't care about what I'm researching, then I won't do it. But I will research like everything else, like the dumbest, most pointless things. But I don't have a problem with doing it because I technically do like doing it. Like I said, only with stuff that is relevant to me, like, well, stuff in general. I don't know. I don't have an example. I can't. It's my brain doesn't work like that. I can't figure it out right now. But technically, what I also tend to do is just go by different ideals of things. So it's not like, uh, because that's really the problem with people in general. Because when they do research from their angle only, and it's like it's just this weird like circle of just enclosed space where you keep finding the same thing that justifies your answer, but that's because you only ever exist in your space. That's what happens with, well, that's what happens with everything that's going on right now. On, well, every side. It's all just this enclosed space. And I get that not everyone is like that, again, on both sides, but it is, there are also people like that, and it's just exhausting, which is why I don't really deal with them. So I try my best to just do it from my own angle, because at least that way I can somewhat figure out what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it's really the flip of a coin with stuff like that. Number 3. Can you tell when you accomplished a goal that was extremely challenging? What helped me succeed? Hmm. I don't I don't mean to brag, but I kind of do. I don't really. Well, it's not really bragging, is it? It's kind of just me being lazy. Everything's pretty much me being lazy, I'm going to be honest with you. So, I don't really. I do like doing difficult stuff, but I don't. It's not a lot of things I like doing that are difficult. It's. Because if people tell you you're going to have to work. It's not like I got to the point where I had to work hard and then I gave up, because it's more correct to say that I got tired of doing the thing before I even got to the hard part, which possibly is even worse, but that's not the point. The point is, there were three ways. There were three different ways to do this in life. You can either be a quitter, which I don't do. I've never hit a wall in doing something and just given up. You can either fail, which is, well, when you just fail at doing something, which I have done, but it's also something I've never really cared about, so it's kind of like just short of before you actually have to try hard. Because, like, sports, when I was a kid, I was forced to do, like, all, like the mini little league stuff. I like t-ball and soccer. It was awful, and I hated every minute of it. I was like kid that like stood out in the field and ran in the wrong direction. But whatever. And then there's just being a loser at stuff, which, well, when you just do stuff, you're just not good at it, which is technically more what I am. But because it's not like I find stuff difficult. I genuinely don't like doing those things. Like being a chef. People told me that I should have been a chef because I liked cooking. Nobody decided to think, should we trust him in a small enclosed space with lots of other people in a very high active and aggressive environment in order to get this food out to people in a timely manner? No. No, they didn't. And then I went to school for culinary, and I realized there is more than a likely chance that I will burn this place to the ground in order to end my suffering. So, yeah. There's a difference between failing at being a chef and quitting in order to not go to jail. The point of that is, this is literally the most difficult thing that I've tried to accomplish in my entire life. Because even the stuff that I do have done, like school projects, I've never tried with. Like, none of it. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how I got out of high school, and the fact that I did graduate is almost entirely the case behind the fact that the school system sucks and should be drastically looked over. But maybe you can say that for a lot of people, so I really have no personal issues with saying that about myself. So yeah, I mean, the most difficult thing that I have ever challenged myself to do is learning how to talk to people, which in of itself isn't hard. It's more of just dealing with people after the fact of when they start to talk to you, because they are some of the most annoying people you will ever meet. It doesn't matter which ones they are. All people start off as annoying, whether they become your friends or whether you fall in love with them or whatever you want to say. Everyone starts off as annoying you, and you just have to learn how to adjust to that. Which I have yet to do, mind you, so I'm still working on it, but that's what I'm saying. I have never quit anything. I am I've never failed at anything. I've either quit before I decide when I realized I didn't want to do it, or I have just failed at it outright. So yeah. Anyway, fourth question. What would be the most difficult... Oh, yeah, the most difficult board member you have to deal with, or who you don't want to deal with? I mean, the most difficult person you have to deal with, or who do you not want to deal with? I don't really... Okay, I know everything I just said before in the last one about how I hate talking to people, which I do, but I like dealing with people, which, if you know... Well, if you're like that type of person, you know what I mean, but for anyone who doesn't, I have to do my best to explain this. So, talking to people is the worst, because most people don't really... They're just weird and exhausting to have to deal with. But dealing with people is more interesting because I guess it's like being able to look on the outside of the situation. That's why people watch the videos, all these videos of people, and how they just are... I can't say crazy because that's insulting to the entire human race. They're just outlandish. Yeah, outlandish is good. And you look at these videos and you see, like, how did these people get to this point in life? And that's interesting to me. If I was the person in the video that they were dealing with, I don't know. I mean, I want to say I would throw a register at their head, but I wouldn't actually do that. Just like they don't actually do that. We both want to do that, but we wouldn't actually do it. But that's kind of why I want to do this too, is just to figure out how people have gotten to the point that they have, and think the way they do, and believe what they do, and stuff like that. And I guess the most difficult would be the people who actively reject the idea that is being presented to them. Because having different opinions isn't a problem, even when your idea is actively negative. Like, I don't know, wanting to clear cut the rainforest. If you want to destroy the rainforest because of profit, well, that's not fine, but that's still your goal. But, and again, if you want to do it for, like, supervillain reasons, then sure, go ahead. But if you actively reject the idea of protecting the rainforest simply because you don't want to be a hippie, then that's generally flawed thinking. And This really fascinates the hell out of me when people do that. Because again, the same people that want to protect the rainforest will are the people who think everyone should live just live naturally, which also wouldn't work because, well, some people just can't live out in the woods like me because again, I'm actually allergic to nature. I would actually, die at some point. But that's just how it goes. But yeah, those are the people that I try to avoid, but I also can't because they're the most fascinating to talk to. Like I said, that's why I want to go on Fox News because that'd be really fun. Technically, any news outlet. I don't really care. But that's just what that is. Number 5. What is to ensure your company was compliant with all the laws? If I had a company, would I do it with all the laws? Yeah. Listen, even without owning any type of Fortune 500 company, I wouldn't have a problem turning over leadership to somebody else. Is that what? I don't know. I don't remember what the actual thing with. I don't know what the actual law says about currently owning your business and being president. But I would definitely do it. Mainly because I don't want to also have to worry about running my business while I'm being president, because that just seems like it's way too much stress and will drive you into an early grave and immediately. So I don't really know why he went out of his way to do that. But hey, you're a crazy controlling freak, so I guess you gotta stick to your prerogatives, right? We're just to ensure that I would do that. The fact that I don't want to just go crazy trying to run my stupid company and be president of this weird ass country. Can you tell me one of your best solutions you gave to an employee to solve a problem? The best solution I gave to an employee to solve a problem? I mean, I don't know. Mainly because whenever someone asks me something, I listen to them in the moment, but I really just tune them out, and then I give them an answer. So I don't actually have anything in that regard, but it's most likely relationship advice, and it was most likely take yourself out of the relationship itself and ask yourself what it is that you want. Because if you know what you want, then you can analyze what it is that you have to change in order to get that thing. Regardless of how you feel about the person, or regardless of how you feel about whatever situation that you're in, figure out what it is that you want and make the adjustment to how to get that, regardless of what it is that you feel like you have to or want to do. That sounds about something I would say. 7. Tell me about a time you thought outside the box. How did it help you or your employees? Well, according to everyone that I know, all I do is think outside the box. So I don't really know how to answer that question specifically. But I do know, this is also when I worked in Sears. So when I started working there, they had a paper sign-in sheet, which, was a paper sign-in sheet. But then a couple of months later, they made the switch over to, computer. Now, originally, this was just because I actually forgot to do it. So, it just happened. But what I found out, because you sign in, and then you're supposed to sign out for your break, your main, you like your lunch, and then and then when you leave, you sign back in when you come back from your break, and then you sign out when you leave. Now I found out that if you didn't sign in on your break, if you didn't sign out and sign in, and you just signed out at the end of the day, it would ask you, when did you take your break? It's like, oh, so I could just sign in at the beginning of the day and then sign out. And when it asks me when I take my break, I can just fill in anything, which is what I did. So even if I took my break early or late, and even if I took my break for an hour, I would still just sign in I took my break at the right time. It was only for a half an hour. So, yeah. Of course, I told, well, not all of my coworkers. I told some of them, like the ones that I was actually friends with. So we all started doing that. Now, they probably fixed this issue because, well, I doubt I was like the first person to figure this out, but I was the first person at my store to figure it out. So, I get bragging rights for that. So yeah, that happened. Now, was it? I'm not saying it was the best thing to do, but the question was how I helped my other employees and not the employer. So I take that as a win. All right. Question 8. Because you would have a ton of work, how would you prioritize your work? I guess technically how I would prioritize my work is by you. Because, again, I say this all the time, and I can't stress it enough because, well, I really need everyone to understand it. I legitimately have no desire to do anything as president. It's like there's stuff that I want to do, but it's not presidential stuff. I want to do a bunch of stupid garbage that I just thought of doing, like collecting money from every country that I go to, assuming they still exist. But that's the type of stuff that I want to do. I have no active things that I want to do if I actually win. So, what is gonna happen would be whatever is the top issue that I run under or with or whatever you want to say. That's pretty much how I'd prioritize everything that I do there. Because it's like, there's nothing, like I said, there's plenty of stuff that I should do, but like, it's not like I'm saying that I don't care, because, well, I don't, but it's not like, I'm not saying in like a malicious way. I'm saying in like, I don't know what it's called, because I've never been to a psychologist, because I can't afford it. But I'm legitimately amoral about stuff. So, it's not like I care about something or my own priority or my own viewpoints on running a country over others. None of it really emotionally weighs on me. So, yeah, whatever, everyone decides I should do first, that's, well, in the order of how I should do them, whatever this is. Like, if, for whatever stupid reason, the student loan debt exists, and that's what people want me to focus on, then that's what I would focus on. Technically, that's probably what I'd be focused on most, because, like I said, I have to do that for my own issues. But after that, everything else is, like, if it's, like, fixing the economy in general, or fixing pollution, or fixing, I don't know, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, that's how I prioritize. That's how I prioritize the things that I do by what you guys want, because none of it doing whatever order doesn't matter to me. As long as I actually get it done and I can rub it in the face of all the people who don't want me to do it, I'm fine, because all I care about is being a petty jerk who succeeds in fixing the world simply to rub it in the faces of everyone who wants it to stay the same. So, I'm good either way. Did you ever have to deal with a difficult employee? If so, how did you handle it and what was the end result? Did I? Probably. Probably. Because, like, there were different types of difficult employees. Because I'm also a difficult employee. But not, like, really. I'm more just, like, passive than actually difficult. So, it's fine. But then there are actual difficult employees, which some of them are just exhausting. But, like, I don't think I ever had, like, a coworker that was difficult. I just kind of, like, if you actually have, you just gotta, like, report them to HR. Because I know that there's this whole camaraderie amongst coworkers thing, which I don't honestly believe in, because people are just, people are just terrible. I mean, if you personally are okay with it, then I guess I don't. It's not an issue. But if you like actively don't like them, well, not don't like them. If they actively make your day more difficult, then you just have to report it, because working is difficult enough, especially if it's in a place that you don't like. And them being there, it's just gonna make it worse. And I refuse to be put in a difficult position at a place that I already hate and mildly wouldn't care if a tornado hit it and have to put up with your dumb ass. So, yeah, screw them. I mean, I just don't care. I just want you out of my face, and preferably out of earshot of me. So, yeah. If you were told to complete a budget, what would you think would be the most challenging? See, I'm not, well, I am sort of good at budgeting, but I'm not like the best at it. But that's purely just because I don't try to be. But as far all I really do when I set up my budget is going by the things that I want to do the most, and then portioning off that money, and then seeing what's left. So, like, again, it's just drastically undershooting what it's like to balance, what it's like to go over the national budget, but you go by your top priorities list, and then you see what's left, because that's what they do. Presumably, they give most of the money to the military, another chunk of it to themselves, most likely, and then they just go down from there, and then everyone acts like, oh, we don't know where the money's going. But, and the most challenging part of it would be figuring out how to redo it, because you have to redo it, like, in general. But I think it would just be trying to talk everyone into going along with the new budget that you have to make. Like I said, I don't know anything about doing a budget, but that's, yeah, that's how I would do it. I would just look at all the money that I have and just go down the list of the things that I want to do with it. Which again is how you do a budget. And I'm saying it's no different. You just have to. I'm sure there's just more to it, and other people that you have to talk with about setting it up properly. But yeah. Anyway, that was the last one. So I'm going to end the video. Yeah, I'm just gonna end the video. I don't know. Alright, see ya.